In a 76 degrees blizzard, an Arctic fox mother can't just wait it out. Her kits could freeze in minutes if she stops. Right now, on Alaska's North Slope, the wind is screaming across the tundra at 50 miles per hour. The air temperature sits at 40 below. But with wind chill factored in, exposed flesh meets the equivalent of 76 degrees. And somewhere beneath the snow, a female Arctic fox is making a choice that will decide whether her litter sees spring. She's not large, maybe 8 pounds. Her entire body could fit inside a backpack, but inside that small frame is a biological furnace. Ice crystals already cling to the guard hairs around her muzzle. The storm will pass. But here's what most people don't realize. The real danger comes after. Whiteout begins. The blizzard doesn't announce itself. One moment, the tundra is silent. The next, the horizon disappears. On Alaska's Arctic coastal plain, storms like this one form fast. Cold air from the polar vortex colliding with moisture off the Beaufort Sea. Within an hour, visibility drops to zero. Snow doesn't fall here. It moves, horizontally, like shrapnel. The female Arctic fox was hunting when the whiteout began, a quarter mile from her den, not far by summer standards. But in these conditions, a quarter mile is a death sentence. If you don't know exactly where you're going, she does. Arctic foxes don't wander. They build mental maps of their territory, refined over months. Every ridge, every drift pattern, every buried landmark. This female has traveled this route hundreds of times. Now she runs it blind. Her breath comes fast, sharp, visible for half a second before the wind tears it away. Her paws barely sink into the snow. Thick fur covers even the soles of her feet, a trait so effective that Arctic foxes may not start shivering until around 94 degrees, though estimates vary depending on the study. Her body doesn't register this storm the way ours would, but her kits are different. Back at the den, 5 Arctic fox kits, barely 6 weeks old, are waiting. Their fur is growing, but it's not yet the dense, layered armor their mother wears. They're burning calories just to shiver. And if she doesn't reach them soon, shivering won't be enough. The coldest den, she makes it. The den entrance is little more than a hole in a snowdrift, barely visible against the white chaos. But below that entrance lies an engineering marvel built not by this fox, but by generations before her. Arctic fox dens can be ancient. Some are believed to be centuries old, used by many generations of foxes, expanded tunnel by tunnel. This one sits on a south-facing slope, carved into a low ridge where permafrost meets loose soil. The design is simple but effective. Multiple entrances, winding corridors, and a central chamber buried deep enough that the walls typically stay near freezing, even when the surface plunges 70 degrees colder. The temperature difference between the world above and the chamber below can reach nearly 100 degrees. Inside, the female Arctic fox curls around her 5 kits. They press against her belly, seeking the warmth only she can give. Her body heat, combined with their own, raises the chamber temperature even higher. No fire, no insulation carried in, just physics, and a mother positioned between them and the cold. Her winter coat is doing most of the work. Arctic fox fur is arguably the most effective insulation in the mammalian world. 2 layers, a dense underfur for trapping heat, and longer guard hairs for blocking wind and moisture. Together, they create a thermal barrier so complete that an Arctic fox sleeping on open ice loses almost no warmth to the ground. She doesn't just have this coat, she grew it, adding nearly 200% more fur mass between summer and winter. Outside, the wind howls, a low, constant roar muffled by snow and soil. Inside, the kits stop shivering. One yawns, another shifts, pressing deeper into her flank. For now, the den is holding. But there's a cost. The female Arctic fox hasn't eaten in almost 2 days. Her body is burning fat reserves to stay warm and produce milk. Every hour she stays underground, those reserves shrink. The storm will pass, but when it does, she'll have no choice. She'll have to hunt. Chapter 3. Hunger and Hunters. 36 hours later, the wind dies. The tundra emerges white, silent, and deceptively calm. Snowdrifts have reshaped the entire landscape. Familiar ridges are buried. Old trails have vanished. The female Arctic fox leaves the den before dawn. She moves quickly, nose twitching, scanning the snow for the faint scent of something buried beneath. Her primary target? Lemmings. These small rodents survive winter in tunnels under the snowpack, and Arctic foxes have evolved a hunting method almost too precise to believe. She listens, tilts her head, pinpoints the sound of movement below, then leaps, punching through the snow head first to grab her prey. It's called mousing. And in a good season it's enough. But this isn't a good season. Lemming populations on the North Slope have crashed, part of a cyclical boom and bust pattern that often happens every 3 to 5 years, though timing and intensity can shift. When lemmings are scarce, Arctic foxes must adapt, and that's when things get dangerous. Not far from her territory, a wolverine is working a frozen caribou carcass, the remains of a wolf kill, now abandoned. The female Arctic fox has scavenged from carcasses before. It's a critical survival strategy when prey is low, but wolverines don't share. She approaches low, cautious, waiting for an opening. The wolverine feeds, unaware or unconcerned. What do you think is the greater threat to her survival right now, and the cold or the hunger? Think about it. She manages a few scraps, frozen meat, tendon, enough to slow the drain on her reserves. Then the wolverine turns and she's gone, vanishing into the snowfield like she was never there. But there's another shadow on this landscape. Golden eagles patrol the North Slope in early spring. They don't hunt adult Arctic foxes often, but the kits, small, inexperienced, visible against the snow, are a different story. Research suggests that litters raised by first-time Arctic fox mothers may suffer higher predation from eagles, possibly because inexperienced mothers are less effective at warning their young. This female is not inexperienced. She's survived 4 winters on this slope. She knows what moves in the sky, and she's already teaching her kits to freeze when her bark cuts through the air. The thaw test. A week after the blizzard, the sun returns. Temperatures climb to a balmy 15 degrees. The snowpack begins to settle, and for the first time since the storm, the 5 Arctic fox kits emerge from the den. They're clumsy, uncoordinated. Their legs seem too long for their bodies, and they stumble over each other in the snow. But they're alive. This is the thaw test, the window after a major storm when weakened animals either recover or collapse. For Arctic fox mothers, it's the most demanding period of the year. She must hunt constantly now, bringing back food for kits who are beginning to eat solid meals. Her milk production is slowing, her fat reserves are nearly gone, but something has shifted. The kits are no longer entirely dependent on her warmth. Their coats are thickening, each day adding another layer of insulation. They're beginning to play hunt, pouncing on snowdrifts, practicing the mousing leap they'll need by autumn. One kit, bolder than the others, wanders 20 feet from the den before her sharp bark sends it scrambling back. She's not just keeping them warm anymore, she's preparing them for a world that will never stop being cold. On Alaska's North Slope, there are no guarantees. Lemming crashes, late blizzards, golden eagles, wolverines, any of these could end a litter before summer arrives. But this female has done what Arctic fox mothers have done for 10,000 years. She found shelter when there was none. She gave heat when she had little. She hunted when the odds said stay hidden. And because of her, 5 Arctic fox kits will see the long days of the Arctic summer, and maybe, one day, raise kits of their own in the same ancient den. The tundra doesn't care about survival stories. It doesn't reward courage or punish failure. It simply is, cold, indifferent, endless. But inside that coldness, life finds a way. Not through luck. Through preparation, instinct, and a refusal to stop moving when everything says hold still. That's what an Arctic fox mother teaches us. Not how to survive the storm, but how to outlast it. If this story moved you, subscribe. More wildlife stories are coming. Next time we go beneath the ice, where a different kind of mother faces a different kind of cold. The Weddell seal, and the longest breath hold in the Antarctic.